Our next presenter is Aviv Shtern. She's from Afat, we talked about before, and she's going to talk about the MOSAIC platform. So thank you.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Funny thing, Amit told me to speak in Hebrew, and now I understood that I should speak in English. So if it's lousy, Amit is the one to blame. So I'm about to present the MOSAIC challenge, which is a challenge that we in Mafat made in order to find the best solution we can for the indoor challenge. The challenge was made by us, Mafat. For those of you who doesn't know, it's an organization inside the Israeli Ministry of Defense that is in charge of the innovation and all the development of new technologies for the defense industry in Israel. We work together with the US DoD, with IWTSD, and with Mirage Institute on that. As I said, I'm Aviv Shtern from DDR&D. I breathed the indoor challenge for the past 3 years, and I was very happy to do that challenge. What's it all about? לא חשוב, נעשה כלום. So why indoor robotics for the military industry? So what we want to create is to minimize the damage in operation in urban areas. Currently today we have our soldiers and troops operating in urban areas, and what we see is we have a lot of unknown spaces, which creates lots of damage for our forces. And what we want is to eliminate that damage and to create a safer environment for our troops on the area. Now, our mission is to perform preliminary scan inside indoor areas to eliminate or mark danger zones before anybody gets in. And we started searching for new technologies for something other than what we know in order to solve that mission. Now, what we saw is that the technologies for indoor robotics for the citizen needs, such as indoor robotics, like we see today, such as even iRobot that everyone has at home, we see that this technology is very advanced. And we in the defense industry is somehow behind that. And we're not used to being behind. So we thought what would be the best way to search the best companies that we can find in the world even to work with us and help us solve this mission. So we decided to go on a competition, which is not very not something that we are used to do in DDR&D. We used to know already who is the best company that knows how to do something, go to it, do a project with her, and then just start just have a prototype to work with. But we saw that there's too many companies that we don't know, too many technologies that we still don't have, and we decided just to go on a competition and see who will be the best one. So the first result was finding the best solution, of course, for the indoor challenge. The second was to mark the DDR&D as a knowledge center for indoor robotics, like we did with the tunnels in 2014. After Tzuk Eitan, everyone knew that if they had any idea about tunnels, they should go to Mafat. And we wanted to do the same thing with indoor robotics. We wanted everyone with a good idea of how to solve this challenge to come and approach to us. We also wanted to meet worldwide companies. This is, yeah. I will explain it. Just, it's a great question. I have a slide on that. Okay. The challenge, and I will explain in 1 minute, was to find the best way to scan autonomously a building and find zones that you are interested in. It could be a danger zones, and we can look for something up for specific something. Remark. But what does it mean? What do you mean danger? Danger. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we wanted to go worldwide, which is exactly why we went together with the DoD, and not only as Mafat themselves. And we wanted to give our users the ability to see all the good technologies in a 1 week effort. Usually what we do is go to each company. It takes time. It takes driving. If you want to go to a company that is not here in Israel, then we need to fly over or even give up on seeing it. And what we wanted to do was bring everyone into one place for 1 week and give all our users the opportunity to meet everyone themselves. And best thing, it is fun. So 2 years ago, we went on the Urban Drone Challenge, which was held only by Mafat in Gedera for anyone who participated. And what we asked our participants to do is to give us a drone that can detect a window on the second floor, fly through that window, do it, of course, autonomously, and then scan the whole building, do it quietly, have an ATR ability, and fly in the dark. And eventually, no one won that competition. So we were a bit greedy. So we had to think how to do it differently. We thought, yes, we want autonomous drones for indoor, but maybe it's a bit too much to ask from one company to do it all. What we saw is that we have lots of companies that are experts in each and every particular field that together, that combined build that autonomous drone. But we don't have a lot of companies that do it all in one, of course, except for in the robotics. So this is how we came up with the MOSAIC challenge. So what we did is we separated the different fields that together, that combined, brings us the autonomous that we need in indoor. We separated it into indoor mapping, indoor localization and navigation, human and object tagging, and of course the platforms. That each of these things on its own is a whole technological challenge that I guess that you already know. And we wanted to find the best company that can do each of one thing, and all of them will be combined by an open architecture, which is something that we in Mafat believe that is the correct way to build the infrastructure for autonomous systems. I can do a whole lecture about it. I won't. If you want, we can speak about it later. And of course, we were a bit greedy, and we decided to add another field into the challenge, that is outdoor presence detection. This is a more physical field, and different from the others, which is the ability to detect whether there's anyone in a room outside the room, like standing out on the other hall where we went in, and telling if there's anyone in here and how many people there are in. So we built a challenge that is built out of 5 different competitions. Each competition stands on its own, which means we have the indoor mapping competition, we had the indoor localization competition, we had the human/object tagging competition, etc. And each company could participate in all of them. We didn't mind, because as I said, we wanted to find the best company that can do each of one thing and then combine it on our own. Now, the second challenge that we had was COVID, of course. And we thought, how can we do this competition without the need to bring the companies here in Israel or bring everyone in one place, because as we know, it's not something that we used to do in the COVID time. Well, now is a COVID time, but never mind. So we decided to separate the challenge into two tracks. The virtual tracks and the track and the physical track. We saw that the first three challenge competitions can be done virtually, since we're talking mostly on algorithms. And the second are things that we just can't check virtually, unfortunately. So we had to do it physically. So now I'm gonna drill down into each of every competition and how we did it. I'll try to do it as quickly, so I want still more of the time than we have. As we said, I'm sure that you will have lots of questions, but I promise I will be available later. So for the physical track, we have this building. It was in Yerucham. This was the other challenge that we have to convince everyone to come all the way to Yerucham. But people not from Israel don't really know that it's a very far place, so they don't mind. This is a school in Yerucham, a regular school. We had the kids in here go to a trip. They were very thankful for it. And we had the building for the whole week. And this is where we held the physical track. So about the tactical platforms, what we searched was only a platform. We didn't want an autonomous platform, just a good platform that can pass indoor obstacles. So we had them getting in through the ground floor. They had, we had this is the map of the school. They had to go through the entrance to open the door. This was their first challenge. Then they had to go through the building and go to a stairs and go up the stairs. Something I didn't said before, it was the competition was for both drones and ground robots. So it was very interesting to see the ground robots go up stairs. This is the second floor. They just had to go up the stairs and go to the next floor. On the third floor, they had to open a door again, get into a room that was meant for the aerial obstacle course. Each of the platforms did two rooms, one for the aerial obstacle course and one for the ground obstacle course. Which is for us to do the best pointing that we can, comparing apples to apples and not comparing two different types of platforms. Then they went to the other room. They had to go on a narrow dark hallway and then get to a very rubble and dusty room that was full of racks, and they had a hole in the wall and see if they can go through it. This is the obstacle course. We won't get into it, but these are the rooms that we did to check the platforms. On the right, on bottom and up is the aerial obstacle course. You can see that we had Vilon. Thank you. We had curtains that they had to go through. We had a ladder that they had to go through. We have the lamps that are going down. And what we wanted to see is that the drone can go through it without any problem. The best obstacle that we had is the curtain in here that has those ropes that we can see in our scenario or where we work. And on the left, we can see the ground obstacle room. We built stairs, we had rugs, we had sand, you can see it, but we had oil stains on the floor, and we want to see that the ground robots can go through it without any problem. These are the winners that participated in the competition. The outdoor presence detection, we'll just go through it because it's not very robotics area. We had people standing in the rooms that you can see in here, different types of people. We had even children, and we wanted the systems to detect how many people and in what sizes they are in the room. Those were the winners. And eventually for the physical track. So we had, as I said, three competition on the virtual track. The first one was indoor mapping. Second one was indoor localization and navigation, and the last one was human slash object tagging. And we gave the contestants two things. We gave them a video for all the competitions, and we gave them some raw data that we recorded in order to give us the best solution that we wanted to see. So this was the video that we gave them. See if it opens up. So this was the video that we sent them. I think you can imagine for yourself for the navigation challenge. We asked the participants to tell us where they are on a XYZ location in some different times in the video. I'll go up to the interesting part. For the mapping, we asked them to give us a map of a 2D or 3D map of the room. And for the object slash human detection, we asked them to just do a bounding box around the certain objects that we wanted them to detect, such as rifles, guns, M16, stuff like that. And this is how we measured the resolution. Yeah. It was a very fun day. Okay, so for the indoor mapping, we want them to give us the distance between selected points in the infrastructures more to the mapping, so that we can so that we can check the accuracy of their algorithm. For the indoor localization and navigation, we asked them to give us waypoints in selected points in the infrastructure. And for the human slash object tagging, as I said, we were searching for a bounding box. Now I just want to remind you that for our challenge, we don't have a map of the room before we enter the room, which is something that is very confusing for most algorithms, knowing where to go. And this was one of the things that we wanted to check in the localization and navigation challenge. Something else that we gave our contestants only on the indoor mapping and the indoor localization, we gave them a simulation that gave us the ability to check the decision making and the efficiency of the algorithms. The ones who developed it were Khatal, it's Omer Greenwald, he's sitting right here. They did a great job, it was amazing. Unfortunately, some of it didn't work, and I will talk about it in just a few moments. Those were the winners for the human and object tagging. These were the winners from the indoor mapping and the indoor localization and navigation. MOSAIC and Kanwadi are from India, EPSI are from the US, which is it emphasizes how broad we got the competition to be. So what went wrong? The integration to the simulation. The simulation was great. It was amazing, but we needed to give the contestants more time and more attention to integrate their algorithm into the simulation. COVID-19. Even though we had a good time, we did it in August and everything, and the sky were open and everything, we still had 3 companies that didn't come to the competition, to the physical track, only because of some of their team having COVID. And approaching each contestant, which is something that we learned that we need to do more of an approaching to the contestants to see how well they're going, how well they understand the challenge and everything, to see that they're ready for the challenge. So what went right? First, the exposure. As I said, we got companies from all over the world. We got companies from Canada, from Britain, from India, We managed to see companies that we did not manage to see before. The second thing was focus on the need. As I said, we saw more and more companies approaching to us after the challenge, knowing that we're looking for indoor robotics solution, and this was definitely one of our goals. Benchmark. We set a benchmark for what we need in indoor infrastructure for this, what solution we need to manage it, to manage the infrastructure. And some of the companies that some contestants came to us after the competition and told us, if you do this, please tell us again, because we want to always check our algorithms and our systems through a very good benchmark and something that is really the need of the customer. We proved virtual competitions possible, which was pretty awesome. We got worldwide contestants and worldwide judging team, which was amazing. We had people from Singapore, from Britain, from Canada, all coming to Israel, to Yerucham, to see the results. So that's it. These were our partners. So thank you, and stay tuned for the next competition.